All right, what's going on? So welcome to Investing Analysis, where I basically analyze the crypto market and basically what I'm doing within my portfolio. I know that kind of lot. I'm going to try and do these as often as I can, but yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So first off, taking a look at my portfolio at the moment, we still have quite a bit in cash. I'm looking to deploy a bit more into this portfolio. But at the moment, we've been allocated to Bitcoin, Hyperliquid, and Ray. Taking a look at our Bitcoin positions currently at the moment, I bought a bunch around this region over here, and then I bought a lot down here thanks to my dip buy ANOVA algorithm, which told me to basically buy down there. Taking a look at the technicals in terms of Bitcoin alone, we're still below the 200 and 300 day moving average. Although the 50-day moving average has turned bullish for now, but I would say until we reclaim these levels like this, I do assume this is nothing more than a bear market rally, and we could see something like this where we fall off and go like that. In terms of the other coin I invested into called Ray, which is basically a altcoin which has a quite low market cap, but this coin basically integrates crypto with AI. I cannot explain the thesis because it's too fucking long and complicated, but all you need to know is this is actually something that genuinely does work, and it's actually very beneficial for crypto and artificial intelligence as a whole through using blockchain technology. Anyway, I bought this coin around here. I think I bought it on this candle over here, which we're currently up 14% on that. But again, it's a very small part of the portfolio. What I will be looking out for this now is I don't really want to be a technical analysis analyst, but one thing I do like using for technical analysis is support and resistance. So that's a clear support. What I'm currently thinking is if we are able to reclaim, get above this, I'll be looking to buy around this region where we should carry on going up. But again, that's very speculative. The fundamentals behind this coin are absolutely fucking incredible. But again, I'll be wanting to see what will happen. So, yep, that's everything for that. Now let's take a look at the data in terms of the crypto market. So, taking a look at, here, I'll get rid of this. Taking a look at my dip buyer algorithm. Turn all this off. We haven't had any new signals recently. We've been taking profit along the way up here, where I took around about 10% per every single one of these crosshairs. So I'm currently in some quite decent profit here. But I do assume we might go a bit higher. Reason for this is I'm taking a look at the FedNet liquidity, which basically this red line you see over here, where you basically want to view it as it has a 90-day lag. So where we are on FedNet liquidity is, I would say we're like here, and we've basically got all of this to go up until we see this fucking disgusting flush happen. Main reason why we had this big flush is because it's tax season around the world, so the Fed of the US obviously had to drain a bit of the balance sheets because of taxes. But taking a look at the fair value model, which is basically this green thing over here, it says that the mean of the fair value is currently sitting around about 91,000. So I'll be looking to take some profit around here. Also, kind of news related, but I'll bring it up now. The Fed chair of the US is coming in May, sometime in May. So I do assume this is a buy the rumor, sell the news event where we'll probably rally. I'm not quite sure where it is. I think it's later on in May. I think something like that. So I would assume us to go up a bit higher, reaching here, and then from there I would assume us to go down a bit. But at the moment we are currently in profit, and we're just going off what the data says. Now taking a look at more data, funding rates are currently still negative, which is quite good to see. A lot of people have been trying to short this rally, which is obviously very stupid of them, because this is exactly how the crypto market goes up and down. You know, it fucks off the most amount of day traders as we can. So yeah, we are currently still, so in my opinion, I think we are probably going to go a bit higher. Taking a look at more of the data, we take a look at the liquidation maps, which I should probably refresh these. It seems that we are currently building a lot of liquidations above current price, although this has actually changed since yesterday. Let's take a look at the 1 year, which is the most accurate data source we can probably get. Yep, as you can see, we are currently having a lot of liquidations build above current price. That's around about 400 million worth of liquidations. So I do assume we will probably touch and go a bit higher. We also still have a few liquidations here and here that we still need to take, and obviously quite a bit up here. I'm not really sure we'll reach these, but we might do. So this is a bit more high time frame liquidation maps, and as you can actually see, they're a lot more asymmetric to the upside than they are downside, which is basically saying we've got very little downside for more upside. So I do believe being in long and buying is actually the best trade here for now. And as you can see, we've got quite a lot of liquidations around about 83. And then we've got quite a lot at 130 and around about the 100k region. So I will be looking out for that kind of zone for now. Also, I forgot to mention my position on Hyperliquid, which I also bought. I bought a lot around this region over here, where I said hype buy. We are currently down from the highs on this a bit, about 9%. But of course, we're obviously still in profit because we bought down here, which we are currently up about 34%. Where this sits in my portfolio at the moment is 30%, which is a quite decent amount, to be fair. But I haven't sold any on this position, and I do assume this is going to go up a hell of a way up higher because of just the fundamentals behind Hyperliquid. It's a decentralized exchange, doesn't require KYC, it's got an unlimited amount of leverage, and they do a lot of buybacks into their own coin. So I would assume this will probably go a lot higher. Here, I can turn this off. Up until at least around $100 region, which will be around about a 200% gain. Anyway, back onto the data. Take a look at the bids and asks, which are actual spot buys. It seems we've got quite a decent sell order around about 80k. So we'll see how that reacts when we get there. And we obviously have a lot of spot buying below current price. So all of this will probably be hit sometime in the near future. Take a look at more funding rate data. It seems yesterday we had a bit of positive funding, but overall the funding rate is still negative as people are still trying to short this. And same thing for the Velo. It says we're having positive funding rate, but I will want to see what happens at daily close. So at the moment, currently what my consensus at the moment is that people feel very emotional at the moment. They're wanting to short constantly, saying it will go down more, even though we have currently gone down from the highs, like nearly 50%. So I do think we'll probably rally here for a bit just to fuck everyone out, and then eventually we will roll over and more down we go. Take a look at the fear and greed index, which basically tells us the sentiment. Currently at 33, so we're still negative. Everyone is still within fear, but obviously this is kind of the zone where you do want to be buying. Take a look at more data from this dashboard. Look, short-term holder MVRV, which basically tells us what the short-term holders are doing. It seems that they have been distributing a bit. Because as you can see, they always distribute at the lows where you want to buy, and then they always buy where you basically want to sell. It came within this zone of buying, so we're currently in a quite good zone to be in. My next main data source I want to take a look at is somewhere here. Yep, here it is, which is the long-term holder net position change, which basically, this is the difference between big buyers wanting to buy and then the dumb traders. As you can see, these actual smart money that actually make profit within the market have been buying throughout this region, whilst the traders have been selling. And as you can see, these guys are always on the wrong side of the trade. These guys are always on the right side of the trade, the majority of the time anyway. As you can see, these guys were basically distributing as we went up in price. Then they began buying around this little dip over here, and then they sold again up there. Whilst these guys have always been on the wrong side of the trade, they've always been buying at tops, and then they've always sold at bottoms. So that's basically it when it comes to this board. Now take a look at net realized profit and loss, which is the amount of profit and loss within Bitcoin alone. We're currently viewing that we have currently got very high loss within the market, which is actually quite good because these are around the points where you do want to be buying. As you can see over here, we had quite a lot of loss. That was basically a good place where you could have bought. We could have made a bit of profit up here. Obviously, it's not like working the best, but I think with all things considered that we have seen the majority of the time it has worked in our favor. I would say this is probably a quite decent place to be buying. Take a look at a bit more on-chain data. Choppiness index, which is basically a trend indicator. It's basically indicating that it's at a point where we could probably see a trend starting to form to the upside. So I do assume we will begin to start in a quite big uptrend very, very soon. This Bitcoin's futures open interest change, which basically identifies us of saying, is this real Bitcoin being bought, which is making us go up, or is it just a leverage rally where we're just short squeezing a bunch of shorters, which we're just fucking over the most amount of day traders as we can. At the moment, it is saying that we are currently having a lot of spot buys coming in, but I don't really trust this data. But then again, I have been wrong in the past, which is why I'm still bringing it up. Funding rates, again, I've said it at least 3 times so far. We are very negative on funding rates, which is great to see. Whenever these funding rates have been negative, it's been a good point where you have been wanting to buy a lot of Bitcoin. Again, it's the same shit. Again, it's just amazing to see these funding rates so negative, because it just means we are probably going to go up a lot higher. And then finally, short-term holder MVRV, which is basically another trend indicator. We are currently very close to this midline, where whenever price has been above this, it has basically indicated a medium-term trend to the upside. So we're very, very close to it. We kind of came above it slightly. No, we didn't. But I do assume we will go above this very, very soon. So there, yeah, you can even see how long it's worked for. Very interesting. But yeah, that's basically all the data for now. Taking a look at kind of crypto news and just random shit talk. This guy I've been following for a while on Twitter. He's basically just a random fucking KOL. Getting very angry that we are currently still going up. Prediction that Bitcoin will go lower. I do actually think we will probably go lower, but at the moment I just don't see the point in shorting. You know, if we're in an uptrend, why short? It's just a bit stupid. Although I do agree on his point that 99% of all altcoins will disappear, because this happens every single cycle. Apparently Trump is going to drop a major announcement today regarding the Clarity Act. I don't think this is true. Surely someone's... yeah, it seems that we don't really know if this is true. I guess we'll find out tomorrow if it has happened or not. So apparently this is a bull trap, saying that smart money sells. Again, it's all very... You've got to realize of the amount of people that are saying this, because again, this is just what I call engineering liquidity into the market. It's making everyone think the price is going to go lower, which means us smart money are obviously going to be buying. So I do think, is this a bear market rally? Probably yes, but I wouldn't want to short it anytime soon. Apparently Trump posted this. when it loads, saying he's going to have talks to do with Iran. So I do actually think this whole war situation is not over yet. I do think we are probably going to see this war carry on up until the end of the year, and then probably going into 2027, it'll probably be done with, because Trump would have probably taken Iran, and now all the US oil, all the oil across the world will probably be running through him, because that is his plan. That is his American empire that he wants to build. Take a look at this, which is actually quite interesting. It's now actually, so this data source, I've been viewing it for a while, and it was actually negative for a while, of saying that whales have been distributing around this zone, whilst now it's actually saying that they are buying. So that is very interesting to see, basically indicating we are probably going to go up a lot higher, like I've said. This is also a very interesting point of the S&P, of saying that 45% of the S&P 500 is basically just AI stocks, which are all just another mimics of ChatGPT. So there is probably a bubble forming with AI at the moment, but again, the one thing you've got to realize about bubbles is, with bubbles, they never crash and they never fold when everyone's talking about them, right? I want you to think of the 2008 crash, right? No one thought it was going to happen, right? No one saw it coming, right? Every time you see a crash coming, it never happens, but it's when you don't see it coming, that's when it does happen, right? So that's just a very interesting point. And finally, just a kind of funny little meme here. Prop firms, you have been rejected. Trader, why? Prop firm, because your strategy is too much prop profitable. This is just a whole explanation of the entire prop firm industry. Now, the only reason why they do what they do is because dumb, stupid traders who have no discipline, no consistency, go to them and think trading is a get-rich-quick scheme. And they always reject the actual profitable traders that actually ask for payouts because they've followed all the rules, and then they ended up just banning them because they're too good and they see through the Ponzi scheme. So yeah, anyway, that was basically market analysis. I don't really think I have much more to really go over at the moment. Kind of regret is this coin over here, which is Monero. It's basically the only real crypto privacy coin, but I do assume this will probably go lower. Also, another stock I've been taking a look into is Take-Two Interactive, which is basically a stock, especially Rockstar, the game company that makes Grand Theft Auto 5 and 6. Take-Two Interactive basically owns Rockstar, so I will be looking to buy into this coin. I did want it to see it go a bit lower, but oh well. I will probably be buying around this region. If we're able to get a retest of, I know I'm being very optimistic, but anywhere across here, I'll be probably wanting to buy into the stock again. But yeah, that's basically it really. So yeah, anyway guys, that's all for investing analysis. I'll see you all tomorrow.